During the Democratic debates, one of the presidential hopefuls made quite an unconventional splash. Marianne Williamson, a New Age mystical guru, changed the tone of the conversation entirely. Most of her career has been focused on evangelizing for an American religious text called A Course in Miracles, written by Helen Schucman. Why is any of this relevant to us? It seems to me that it's not a coincidence that both of these women are Jewish. In fact, an outsized percentage of successful contemporary New Age and occult thinkers are. The connection between these kinds of magical systems and Judaism is actually quite simple. It's about words. All of these thinkers in the realm of alternative spirituality place an ultimate power in language. Judaism, too, sees words, especially the spoken word, as containing far-reaching power. The book of Proverbs teaches death and life are in the hand of the tongue. And in this week's Torah portion, we see the power of language from a magical perspective. The Israelites encamped in the steppes of Moab, and Moab was very terrified of the people, for they were many, and Moab loathed the Israelites. And Moab said to the elders of Midian, "Now this assembly will nibble away everything around us as the ox nibbles the grass of the field." The Moabites' fear of the Israelites was based in a vision brought to life by language. They used their words to paint an animalistic image of the Israelites, describing them as a consuming infestation, a band of dangerous interlopers whom they loathed. In response, Balak, king over Moab at the time, sent messengers to the sorcerer Balaam, saying, "Go curse this people for me, for it is mightier than I. Perhaps I shall be able to strike against it and drive it out of the land. For I know that whom you bless is blessed, and whom you curse is cursed." When he attempts to curse the people of Israel, God intervenes, placing an angel in his mouth that would only utter blessings over the Israelites rather than curses. And these blessings come to pass over the rest of the story of the Israelites, showing them to have been quite effective. Balaam's magic, then, is rooted purely in his capacity for influencing the world through language. In effect, this is at the center of the relationship between Judaism and magic. One of the foremost scholars on the subject, Dina Stein, defines Jewish magic as responding to the sense of a gap between sign and signified, a gap between humans and their surroundings, and between humans and God. We should therefore understand the centrality of the magic experience, especially within the monotheistic context, as seeking to bridge the empty space between God and man. Magic praxis, then, in a way, realizes the experience that is also at the basis of miracle. Our world is saturated with words. Although most do not view these words as carrying supernatural power, they can alter the very fabric of society. Implicitly, most of us know this. These arguments over language sometimes get cast aside as petty. Sometimes people say, they're just words, or it was just a joke. Using the example of Balaam and Dina Stein's view of magic, let us for just a moment fully believe that words are magical. After all, we're in this hallowed space reading millennia-old incantations in an archaic language to summon an ancient deity at the behest of people in black robes. It's not that far-fetched. In the Moabites' hate-filled language, they dehumanized the Israelites, which led to Balaam seeking to destroy Israel further through more language. But lucky for us and our ancestors, God intervened, flipping the script and changing Balaam's language. Rather than him bridging the gap between the hate-filled desire for the Israelites to be destroyed, Balaam bridges the gap between the Israelites' dream for their current situation and a liberated future. Echoing the Moabites' reaction to the Israelites, some in our country today use language comparing immigrants and refugees to animals. Their language also seeks to bridge this gap to these people's destruction. In the Torah, God intervenes on behalf of our ancestors in order to bless them with safe passage from a land of oppression and hatred to a land of milk and honey. Unfortunately for us today, though, God doesn't intervene so openly in the language of humans. We must be the ones to intervene. This means that we must behave as if our words are truly magic. We must intervene with our language to protect those in need. We must humbly use our language to fight for what we know to be just and kind. We must bridge that gap between the world we wish to see and the world that is. And we must then take action to bring that world about, believing that the Messiah will come and will lead us to worldly perfection after we have proven ourselves worthy. One of Balaam's blessings, speaking about the Israelites, says, "Look, a people like a lion arises, like the king of beasts rears up." The classical commentator Rashi compares this to rising early in order to fulfill mitzvot, to take the actions needed to repair our world. May we too in our day arise and rear up to bridge the gaps we see in our world with words and with actions, to bring about that world we seek to build for a future of peace and wholeness. Shabbat Shalom.